Good afternoon. This is Darlene Scott coming to you with another video in March because this is Intellectual and Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month. And I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge the journey that the folks that we serve have come through and are continuing to journey on. But we'll reflect a little bit on the history and honor, of course, the progress that we have made, recognize the current challenges that we face, and express the gratitude that we have for the people and families who are doing the work. Historically, in the United States, institutionalization was the only option provided to many families that had been told that there was nothing else that could be done, and they had to make their children wards of the state because that was going to be the best option for them. People were warehoused in situations that were not always great for them, with substandard staffing, not great living conditions, and with a loss of dignity and respect for personal identity. And we acknowledge the neglect and the harm that has been caused by the marginalization of people. Stories of abuse and systemic disregard for human beings. And then, of course, there was a national movement and some court cases that prompted these movements for closure of institutions and to move towards community-based care, where people could live in smaller homes, right in community, near their families, friends, and not out of society. And people are not, or never should be, defined by their disability. They're citizens with rights, and they have a voice, and they have value. And I'll just say that some of my best lessons and my best friends I've ever met have been here at Phoenix Residence that have taught me the most about advocacy and advocacy for yourself despite your challenges. I recently lost one of my good friends, Laura Bredesen, who was a great self-advocate. She would tell you what she wanted, what she didn't want, and you would know what she didn't like. And to me, that was the best thing in the world. I know sometimes people think it's a challenge or say things are a challenge, but to be quite honest, we learn so much from people who have the ability to just express what they like and what they don't like. And we have to have the ear and the eyes to hear and see what they're saying and communicating to us. And then, of course, Minnesota, at a state level, we have been a leader, nationwide leader in advocacy, in innovation and creative practices, with strong licensing and regulatory frameworks, with the emphasis on dignity and inclusion and person-centeredness. Now, I have to acknowledge there are some concerns now, and there's the fraud crisis, as they're calling it here in Minnesota, but that's been a few bad actors. By far, the majority of the providers doing this work are doing it compassionately, with love and care of the human beings that they're serving. And it certainly isn't for the monetary reward, because the rates for our services are not reflective in the things that we do. To be quite honest, they don't keep pace. There's not huge margins. But we're right now going through some challenges with Medicaid and funding. And we want to make sure that people know that we got to make our voices be heard, that we don't cut any services for people with disabilities so they can continue to live the life that they choose to live with whom and where they want to live. And that doesn't need to be decided by any of us. I am a proponent of telling people any restriction on telling someone where they can or cannot live is a restriction. For example, if you're 55 plus and you want to live with other people who are 55 plus, not a problem. If you're a college student and you want to live with other people who are college students, not a problem. If you are a person with disability and you choose to live with other people that have disabilities, that's not a problem. That's a choice. It becomes a problem if we tell people where they have to go and who they have to live with. But when they are behind the driver's seat, they should make those decisions themselves. Now, I acknowledge with the Medicaid concerns, there are some significant risks that we can go backwards on this journey that we've come so far to get to where we are today with people living in community. We don't want to go back. So we want to make sure that we are partnering with our legislators and leaders to influence policy to make sure that we do not go back, that we go forward, that we continue to move forward and have people have choice and the dignity and right to make those choices, and even like anybody else, make mistakes and make decisions and learn from them. That's typically the way life goes. So, lastly, I just want to thank all of the great direct support professional folks that we have here who do the work with compassion, dedication, and with a daily impact on people's lives that is just unwavering care and love. And they get rewarded in their hearts because they see the difference that they're making in the lives of other people. And so we know that we have come a long way, and we know that we have a ways to go. There's a couple videos that I'm going to add to this clip talking about some of the things that happened in the early years, and then ending with the fabulous Disability Day at the Capitol that we just spent this week here with Armin Moore, hosting that event. And I have no idea, but there was just a sea of people there making their voices be heard. And that's what we have to do. Continue to be loud and proud and let people know that the services matters. That people get to live and work and play where they want to and with whom they want. And I will end there, and I want to just also say thank you to all of those partners who are helping us to make life what people want it to be for themselves. Thank you, and blessings to you and your family.
100% of patients at Willowbrook contract hepatitis within 6 months of being in the institution. Most patients at some time in their life have parasites, the incidence of pneumonias is greater than any other group of people that I think exist in this country.
Who's in charge here, Jerry? This is Mrs. Nixon. I'm Congressman Biaggi. How are you? Why are these patients unclothed?
We don't have enough clothing. We don't have the proper help to keep clothing on them. We have a few nudists that will not keep clothes on. They will pull them off. But most of all, we don't have the help to keep the kids properly dressed.
The 1950s and 1960s were years of grassroots advocacy. In these years, some of the first programs for children and adults and support for families were created. In the 1970s and 80s, following the signing of the Willowbrook Consent Decree, all of the community services were developed. Residences, day programs, preschools, respite, support for siblings. These were years of tremendous growth of services.
Success needs to be measured one person at a time, like it does in the field of non-disabilities, and I've seen tremendous success.
The 90s brought further development and refinement of services and supports. Methodologies became more sophisticated. Delivering services in the community where people live and assisting them in their communities was the objective. In the 2000s onwards, it became a priority to assist people with all types of disabilities to become valued members of their communities.